I'm going to think of something, don't you worry. No fear of authority is going to stop me. And if it does, may I be struck down now, treated with the contempt I deserve.
Oh, please. There's no need to exaggerate. Well, it's only a suggestion of your father's. Not every resolution is carried out. There's many a slip.
I'll scotch this swine's guts. There's 2 words I'm going to whisper in his ear.
Now, take it easy. Let your stepmother deal with him as she's dealing with your father. She has some kind of influence on Tartuffe. She can say what she likes, and he's always indulgent. Perhaps he's even smitten with her. Hope to God he is. That'll be fun. In fact, she's summoned him here on your behalf. She wants to sound him out about this marriage that's worrying you so much. She wants to find out how he feels about it and explain to him the difficulties it would cause. His servant says I can't see him. He's praying. But he'll be down soon, so please, go now and let me wait for him.
Why shouldn't I just be there while they're talking?
No, you must be alone.
I wouldn't say a word to them.
You're joking. We all know what a short fuse you're on. That's just the way to ruin everything. Now, off you go.
No, I can watch without losing my temper.
Oh, you are so annoying. Go on, here he comes. Go on.
Grazie plena Dominus tecum, benedicta tui in mulieribus et benedictus fructus ventri tui, Iesus. Sancta Maria, Mater Dei, ora... My hair shirt, Laurent. Please put it away next to my birch. And I want you to pray for heaven's eternal guidance. If there are visitors, tell them I'll be at the prison, distributing what few small coins I have.
Posturing humbug.
Yes, what do you want?
To tell you, Madame...
Oh, my goodness, before you say another word, take this.
What for?
Cover your breasts. I shouldn't have to be exposed to them. That kind of thing does damage to the soul and can give rise to guilty thoughts.
You're very vulnerable to temptation. I didn't know that flesh made such a big impression on your senses. I can't see why you should get so steamed up. I mean, I'm not so easy to arouse. For instance, I could look at you stark naked and not be tempted by a single inch.
Oh. If you don't show a little modesty, I'll be obliged to leave you.
No, you won't. It's me who's leaving, so you can calm down. The only thing I have to say is this. Madame is on her way. She'd like a word.
By all means.
That's cheered him up. I think I must be right.
Will she be long?
I think that's her now. Yes, it is. I'll leave you to it.
May God in all his infinite goodness grant you perpetual health in body and in soul, and bless you.
That's his humblest suppliant's prayer.
I'm very grateful for your pious wishes. Sit down. Let's make ourselves more comfortable.
I hope you're feeling quite recovered now.
Oh, yes, thank you. The fever didn't last.
My prayers are scarcely worthy of attracting grace from on high, but I must say their sole object has been your speedy convalescence.
I think you showed too much desire for my welfare.
Your health is very precious. To bring it back, I'd sacrifice my own.
That's taking Christian charity to its limits. I do appreciate your kindness, really.
I do far less for you than you deserve.
I've been wanting to talk to you in private. I'm glad that we're alone together here.
Yes, I'm delighted. It is such a pleasure to be alone with you for the first time. An opportunity I've often prayed for.
I just thought we could have a conversation in which you'd feel you might confide in me.
And I want nothing better than the charm, the privilege of baring my soul to you, and of assuring you that the protests I made against your visitors were nothing personal. They were prompted by my zeal and by an impulse...
So I assumed. I know my welfare was your main concern.
Oh, of course it was. And such was my desire.
That hurt.
Oh. It's just over-eagerness. I never meant to hurt you. I'd much rather...
What are you doing?
I'm feeling your dress.
Oh.
Isn't it silky?
Please don't. I'm very ticklish.
What workmanship. It's wonderful the things they do these days. My word. I've never seen anything like that.
I'm sure, but can we get back to the point? I've heard my husband wants to break his promise and give his daughter to you. Is that true?
He said something about it, but quite frankly, that's not the happiness I'm pining for. All my desires are concentrated on a different set of wonderful attractions.
You mean you have no time for earthly matters?
My heart is not entirely made of stone.
I know your aspirations are towards heaven, that down here nothing can distract your will.
The love we feel for the eternal beauties doesn't preclude a love for what is temporal, and our senses can easily succumb under the spell of God's perfect creations. His glories are reflected in your sex.
But in your case, it's much more than that. He's revealed his rarest wonders and lavished such beauties on you. We're dazzled, we're carried away, and I can't look at you, you perfect creature, without admiring the Almighty in you, struck to the heart with blazing love in front of God's loveliest self-portrait. Oh... At first I was afraid this secret passion was a cunning subterfuge of the Prince of Darkness. And I even determined to avoid you, thinking that you might jeopardize my salvation. But then finally I realized, my sweet beauty, in such a feeling there could be no guilt. It could be reconciled with purity. And that's when I surrendered myself to it. I confess... It is very bold of me to dare to offer you my love like this, but I'm relying wholly on your kindness rather than on my own unworthiness. My hopes, my well-being, my peace of mind are in your hands. My suffering or my bliss depend on you. And only you can make me happy or unhappy, just as you choose.
Well, that's a very gallant declaration. If, to be honest, somewhat unexpected. It seems to me you ought to have reflected a little and held back from such a step. A man whose reputation as a saint...
Oh, why should a saint be any the less human? Confronted with your heavenly attractions, a man just gives way. How can he reflect? Oh, it may seem strange for me to say such things, but after all, madame, I'm not an angel. And if my declaration is blameworthy, the real culprit is your enchanting beauty. Ever since I first saw its superhuman radiant glory, you have ruled my heart. The indescribable tenderness of your divine expression broke down my resistance, overcame all my fasting prayers and weeping, and concentrated all my hopes on you. I'm only voicing what you must have guessed. When I so often looked at you and sighed, show some favor to your unworthy servant's tribulations. If you would deign to stoop down to my level and out of kindness offer me relief, delicious prodigy, I guarantee my eternal, unparalleled devotion.
Your reputation would be safe with me. You'd run no risk of notoriety. Now, these libertines the ladies so admire at court are ostentatious and loud-mouthed, always bragging of conquests, of whose favors no detail is too intimate to reveal. But people like us know how to love discreetly and how to keep it permanently secret. Our own concern for our good character acts as a guarantee to those we love.
And once you've given way, you'll find we offer
Love without scandal, pleasure without fear.
I've let you have your say. And your eloquence is unambiguous enough, I think. But aren't you worried that I might decide to tell my husband about this proposal? And that if he were told of your hopes, it might do damage to his friendship for you.
I know that you're too generous for that, and that you will forgive my recklessness. The violence of a passion which offends you, you will exonerate as human weakness. And, bearing in mind your looks, you will acknowledge that I'm not blind and men are flesh and blood.
Others might take another line, perhaps, but I prefer to exercise discretion. I shall say nothing of this to my husband. But in return, I'd like something from you. I want you to support quite openly, without beating about the bush, Valaire's marriage to Marianne, and to give up your unfair influence and your desire to enrich yourself with someone else's money.
No! I was behind there and I heard everything! It's as if heaven had led me there to crush the hubris of a treacherous enemy and give me the potential for revenge against his insolent hypocrisy. The means to disabuse my father and expose this monster's attempt to seduce you.
No, damn me! It's enough. He should improve and try to be worthy of my reprieve. I've given my promise. Please don't make me break it. It isn't in my nature to make trouble. A woman laughs off foolishness like this and wouldn't dream of worrying her husband.
You have your reasons for that attitude, and I have mine for disagreeing with it. I think to let him off would be a joke.
Damn me!
No, please! I have to trust my judgment. I couldn't be happier, and you won't persuade me to forgo all the pleasures of revenge. I have what I need to conclude this business. And here's the man who'll put my mind at rest.